You talked a little bit off camera about like the 0 to 30K. Like,
Yeah.
what does that look like? Or what did that look like for you at least?
So the way that I teach people how to do it now, and this is the way that I started out and wouldn't change it, is there's two different methods that I have for basically starting off from zero. I'm not the guy that likes to say go do a free trial or sell it for cheaper or do it for free for case studies. Like in my mind, thinking in a business point of view, as someone that would hire someone like that, I would hire them because I feel like I was getting a good deal, not that I valued your service. And that's the wrong foot going into business. And the reason for that is because if you get a referral from that person, the message that they're giving to that person is, yeah, they're good, they're adequate for the price that I'm paying them. They're just starting off, they're brand new, so you should get them for less, right? So then you have this momentum of like, I'm being hired by a bunch of these people for a lower rate because I undersold myself basically. Like you being in sales, you know that you can't be like, oh yeah, this is our first one, so we'll do it for cheaper, because then that just ruins your reputation forever in sales.
No, we didn't really do much free work either. Like the way that we would do it, pitching cold email, it's like, well, how do I know that this works? If you guys are starting out and we're up here, you're down here, I would just be like, well, I got you on the call. And so we just use the mechanism that we were selling in order to get people on the phone. But you're saying, so right off the bat, you want to maintain margins, you want to have like this price point, like
off the bat, you want to make money, right? And right off the bat, you want to position yourself as the best person possible. And for me, I knew like I got one freelancing client, managed them for about a week, and immediately decided that I hated it. So I've never actually done the work for any of my clients ever, like never touched anything, because I just didn't like it. And I knew that if I was going to do business, like I was going into business to do things that I wanted to do mostly. Like I have the philosophy of, I'm not necessarily a person like, oh, let's just grind it out and then eventually you'll get to what you want. I'm like, you know what? From day one, I'm going to do whatever I want, right? And that's how I'm going to get to where I want to get. And whatever I don't want to do, I'm just going to be smart about it and find someone that does want to do it. So I would literally go onto Upwork and I would look for someone that did SEO services that was hired it out as a freelancer. And since I had a US account, or if you have a Europe account or whatever, you can find someone either in a third world country that you can do like the translating or the middleman for, and they like do it for $1,000 a month or whatever. And then I would go out, find someone on Upwork, once again, that was looking for SEO services, used all of their case studies because they're the ones doing the work, used all of their case studies and said, hey, this is the work that I do. I charge $2,000 a month. And these are the results that I've had. And you're literally just a middleman.
Damn.
And then that is how I grew my service. And I never needed to go beg for case studies because every worker that I brought on, or every person that I brought on at the beginning, was a freelancer with case studies. And I knew that they had the work. I knew that they had the reputation. And I was able to repurpose those, put my branding on it, and be like, hey, this is the work that we've been able to do for people.
Because that's always the question of like, hey, if I don't have case studies, how can I charge somebody right off the bat? There's no proof that it works. And usually the answer is like, either you do that, right? You leverage somebody else's labor who has case studies, or you do like heavily performance-based work, or you throw a big risk reversal guarantee on there. How did the offer mature from, hey, I have a guy who'll do it for $1,000, I'm charging $2,000, to where it's at now? Or has it not matured that much?
So the offer obviously is constantly evolving and changing because it just has to. But as far as like the team management and how all that works on the back end, my partner did that because I hired someone that was good at operations, and then they are the ones that basically transformed the back end of it to actually make it an actual operation rather than like the middlemaning that I was doing, the middlemaning type thing that I was doing, like actually hiring people, actually training people, whatever. And then we had our own case studies already. So that's when we were able to take that money, that cash that we had made from like the middlemaning, and then actually make it into something that was a business.
Internal, build your team.
Right. So that's one of the methods that I recommend to people as well. The other method that I recommend, or that I also did, was going through and doing cold Instagram DMs. And I do it different than every DM that you guys probably get every single day of like, oh, hey, I saw your content. It's really good. Do you want me to do your video editing for you?
Or like liked post,
Yeah.
like post, like post. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker liked 8 of my posts in the last 3 seconds. There's definitely a DM.
He's selling something for you.
Yep, it's the worst.
We would go in and we were looking for e-com brands, right? Because we would do SEO for e-com brands. And we would just send them a message. We would reply to stories. We wouldn't just send a random DM. And we would always do something that would like spark a conversation with them. Like, for example, if it was like them showing a story of like a photo shoot that they were having. Like, oh, sick, what'd you guys do this photo shoot for? Whatever. And then we would start a conversation and build rapport with them. We would never make it seem like we wanted to buy their product because we didn't want to be, I didn't want to have that like deceptive mentality entering into a relationship with someone. And it was all coming from my personal Instagram. So we would always just like, oh, how long have you been in business for? What are the things that you're struggling with? Whatever. And then what we would do is we'd offer them a free audit. So we're like, hey, we're doing these free audits for people where we're going through their entire business. We're telling them what they need to do, how they need to change it. We give them the tools. We give you everything for free. You have to give nothing. The reason we're doing this is because I make money from my marketing agency, so I'm able to do this to be able to help business owners out, right? And then we would get them on a call. We would run through like the most valuable thing that they've ever seen in their life. It would literally be an hour to an hour and a half call, walking through absolutely everything, personalized for them. And then at the end of the call, 80% of the people would be like, well, how much do you charge for this? Because you established yourself as the authority by telling them what they were doing wrong, what they need, and then you gave them the solution. You told them what they needed to fix and how they could fix it. And then you showed them that you were the solution because you were the one who told them how to do it. And then they already know that you have a marketing agency because you told them in the appointment setting. So that's the process that I went through after I left the Upwork. And basically what I did is I formed my Instagram as kind of a landing page. I hate organic content. I hate doing reels, TikToks, whatever. Like I'm really bad at short form and I hate it. It's just not my passion, not my interest. So the way that I tried to do it for like a year, and it just wasn't my thing, didn't like doing it. So then what I teach people to do is if they don't want to do content is fantastic, but if they don't want to do content, make their Instagram as a landing page of like literally having like each square or each post be something about you. Like, this is my business, this is my partner, this is what we do, this is our service. So then it's literally as if they're going onto your website and seeing a landing page where they can get all the information. So then when someone clicks on your profile, that's all the information that they can see about you. And then rather than like a bunch of random clips and posts of like you with your dog. And then what I did is I hired appointment setters at commission that I would just pay them for all the appointments that they set because I didn't want to do the appointment setting. So that's something that anyone can do from zero. Is like, hey, this is how many DMs you need to send out a day. This is how you need to do it, and I'm only paying you commission based on how many deals that you sell. Right? Or how many calls that you set.
So they would set up the audit, you would do the audit, and then that person would get paid only if the audit closes?
No, I would pay them no matter what.
Okay.
Right? Because that's how you do have to do it from zero. You can't especially if you're learning how to close for the first time or whatever.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on a lot of the deals.
You're going to get a horrible appointment setter, or they're just not going to stick around for very long. Yeah. And then I only did audits for a short time too because I quickly discovered that I didn't want to be on calls. So then I hired someone to do the audits for me. So one of the philosophies that I have in life, and one of the things that I do every single month, is I actually sit down and I write down all the things that I do on a regular basis. Not like the one-off things like, oh, I had to go do this and I had to go do this. But I sit down and I say, okay, this is what I do on a regular basis, either every single day or every single week. Okay, and then I put a title to that job or assign it to someone or whatever. And then I go on LinkedIn, on Upwork, on whatever, and I see how much it costs an hour to actually get that job done. And if it's less than what I make, I hire that person.
Huh. So you're hiring like how many people a month at this point?
I don't have a number for that. So I'd be lying to you. I have no idea.
That's super cool because I feel like the natural like inkling is, hey, I'll just hire people for stuff I don't enjoy. It sounds like you hire people for everything.
Well, because I don't enjoy working.
That's a good point. So you're just like, I'll hire everybody for everything until
I'm really lazy.
I can't afford to.
Exactly.
That's smart.
And I'm like, okay, if this costs more than me, then okay, I'll bite the bullet and I'll keep doing it. But
so
if it
what's
costs
the
less
management
than me,
look like on that? Like, are you managing these people, or where do they go?
Yeah, well, now there's quite an ecosystem built out of managers and people that are actually doing the hiring and managing and stuff. So that's been beneficial. But yes, obviously I still have my pulse, and it's not that I don't work. Just what I enjoy doing is finding new things to do. Right? Like I get stir crazy and I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. So like if my job can be finding what needs to be done next and then being able to assign it to someone and then finding what needs to be done and then figuring out how to do it and then teaching someone how to do it and then moving on to something else, like that's my ideal situation, because then I'm doing something different all the time, and it's like a churn for me of like, ooh, I'm learning something new, and then I learned how to do it, and then I taught someone. I'm like, oh, now I get to find out what needs to be done next in the business, and that's what a lot of people that don't have real businesses don't have time to do, because they're not actually the CEO of their business. They're just another employee of it.
Yep.
Right? Where I actually get to look at a high level and be like, okay, well, where do we need to go next? Well, we need more of this. Great. Let me go figure out how to do that. I'll come up with a solution. I'll bring it back to you guys, and then I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah. That's exactly how the business grows, is by like the evolution of bringing in new people and changing up the offer.
And if you're the one doing the work,
you're not going to be able to see where to go next.
You can't see where to go next, and you can't spend time even doing it.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.